Congratulations to Chris Chelios for making the United States Hockey Hall of Fame. We'll flash back to the 90s when he played here. And then the mistake-prone Barber. We won't show too much of him, but we will show Jim Harbaugh from the 90s. He could take a licking. And we'll also flash back to this famous White Sox player, who's now their skipper, this week on the Spotlight. Check out my website, benkowski.com, for my weekly article and up-to-the-minute trivia sites. From wherever Chicago's sports teams are making news, this is the 23rd year of the Lansing Floral Sports Spotlight. Flowers for every imaginable occasion at Lansing Floral Shop. Call them at 708-474-1212. They deliver. Cobblestones Restaurant and Bar, 514 West Pershing, that's Pershing and Parnell, the place to go before, during, and after Sox games. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Open Sundays when the White Sox are home, and Friday night trivia when the Sox are on the road. Want to get a haircut from a great hairstylist? Call mine, Rose Murillo, 312-726-2201. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. Be safe with Sureway Insurance Company, 3312 North Milwaukee. Call my friend Jean at 773-282-2022. She has the answers on your auto, home, business, life coverage, including SR22 coverage drivers. Call Sureway Insurance.
Hi, my name is Rose, and I've been a skilled hairstylist for over 10 years. I specialize in men's haircuts and in corrective color. Come visit me at Salon 203 at 203 North LaSalle, 312-726-2201. And while you're at it, come in and get a shoe shine and a shave. It's a great place where a man can be a man.
Since 1967, El Jardín has been serving the finest Mexican food. Before, after, during ball games, located conveniently just 3 blocks south of Wrigley Field, 3335 North Clark. Whether there's a game or not, you still get hungry, and El Jardín has great service, great food, and great drinks. I've enjoyed every meal I've had there, and you will too. So get to El Jardín for great Mexican food at 3335 North Clark Street in Chicago. You'll be glad you did. The defense was tough early. Tillman with an acrobatic interception. No score after 1 quarter of play. We are back. It's been a not pretty offensive game, but there could have been some trouble. Tebow's certainly been kept under wraps. Let's find out what people think about the food they're enjoying. Tell us your name and what you've been eating.
The food's wonderful. My name's Joe.
And what did you order?
A chicken panini and some wings. The wings are huge.
Yeah, I understand they have a pretty wide-ranging menu here.
From pasta to burgers. I don't know. They do have quite a bit. Paninis, I don't know, a variety of things. Fried green beans, you can get it all here.
All right. Well phrased. And so people are kind of, I don't know, maybe cautiously optimistic about how this game is going. Do you feel the Bears have enough offensive power to pull this game out?
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm always hopeful. I'm supposed to be getting help from my wife, but she's not going to help me.
That's the way life is.
Yeah, I guess so.
Good luck in all that and the game.
Yes, sir. You too.
Okay. And we'll analyze it again at halftime. No offensive highlights, so let's show you the field goal block. Yeah, it got knocked down, and the Bears' defense still good. This paint-watching dry event is slightly reminiscent of a 70s exhibition game I witnessed in which the Bears beat the Packers 2-0 when the Green Bay backup quarterback accidentally stepped out of bounds in the end zone. It's that bad. From a Bears defensive standpoint, hard to argue. A strong job of keeping Tebow contained, and you can't do better than hold a team to 0, right? Offensively, that's the worst you can do. Haney was certainly being very carefully guided here with an excessive number of running plays, and the passing plays not quite on the mark. This is not fun. So hopefully the halftime adjustments will result in Haney throwing the ball a little bit more, especially on first down. A trend I've noted in over 30 years of covering the Bears, passing on first down can set up the run. We'll watch for this and hope for this, but there are no guarantees. But special teams can put you in a nice spot. From the 32-yard line, Devin Hester, look at him. He's impossible. He's ridiculous. And he also puts the Bears in great field position from where they would score their first touchdown and lead. So there's a score in the game. The question is, will it hold up? Let's talk to fans. They should be a little cheered up by this. Tell everyone your name and what you thought of the third quarter.
Jim Bridgewater. Third quarter was actually the most exciting since I've been here, right?
Yes.
I mean, first half was 0-0. Bears need to just keep the pressure on Tebow, keep the penalties down. Hester ignited everybody on their team. So as long as they keep that up, that'll be fine. But keep the pressure on Tebow. I mean, he's on target. You got drop passes going on there. That's what you got going there.
That's true. There's been a little bit of luck. But they have kept him contained for the most part. He hasn't gone off on any of those 35, 40-yard runs.
Not yet. That's right.
Yeah, but in a subtle way, this gentleman points out Tebow's known as a fourth quarter guy. So we'll see. And another factor is the Bears are playing in that high altitude. Hopefully they're on the oxygen masks because of the fourth quarter, right?
That's right, but there's a lot of game left. There is.
On our blessings, hope for another Bears touchdown. The Bears look golden, up 10-0, but Tebow let them back. It was 10-7, and then all the Bears had to do was kill time. No timeouts left for anybody. So Barber, not running out of bounds, gave Denver the ball back with a minute left instead of 20 seconds left, and they had time for the tying field goal, forcing overtime. And here's another look at Barber Boner number 2. The fumble in overtime after the Bears won the coin toss and were ready to kick the game-winning field goal. And then Denver kicked the game-winning field goal. That's it. It's over. Oh, that's not good. So, the Broncos, the Miracle Broncos, have done it again. They've done it to the Bears. And let's get immediate reaction from the crew here at Jack's. Say your name and what you're thinking.
I'm Jake. I'm the manager here. I'm thinking that the Bears blew. It was a bad. They blew it. They could have won this game. They should have won this game. I'm heartbroken right now. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. I don't know what else to really say about that.
Lindsay, I see a tear in your eye.
I know, I'm really upset, but I'm Lindsay. I'm one of the bartenders here, and I'm very upset now that they lost. I was hoping for a win today, but, I mean, it's the best we're going to get, I guess. Hopefully next week, we'll see.
I know, this was a winnable game. It had Barber just not gone out of bounds in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was. I don't know what he was really thinking about on that one, to lose the ball. And, I mean, he came up with a nice touchdown, but I don't know what he was thinking on that one. I don't know what the Bears are really thinking at this point. I wish I had any answers, but I don't. But who knows? We'll see what happens next week, I guess. But I don't think the Bears are going to make the playoffs now. So
we have another video shoot here next week. Lindsay, in the very short term, you've got to drown the sorrows of the people who are here. How do you expect to do that?
You know what? Just serve a couple more shots and a couple more drinks, and we'll see how it goes.
So on behalf of the crew here, we're all in a little bit of shock. Looked like the Bears had a 10-0, and then you snap your fingers, and it's 13-10, Tim Tebow. On behalf of all the staff and crew here at Jack's in Lansing, I'm Pat Binkowski. Let's flash back right after these commercial messages to a time when maybe the Bears were pulling these games out of the fire. Since 1955, Rosangela's Pizza has been there for you at 95th and California, across from Little Company Mary Hospital. You can call them at 708-422-2041. Everything homemade, including the sauce. Great beef and meatball sandwiches, pasta, chicken, seafood, desserts. Dine in for lunch and dinner. Rosangela's, 95th and California. It's always the season for Riley's Trick Shop at 6442 West 111th in Worth. Or you can call them at 708-448-0075. Right now they have football strip cards, a wide selection of Halloween costumes and tricks and treats. And then for later in the year, Santa suits. So for all your needs, especially Halloween, Riley's Trick Shop on 111th Street. Nuevo Leon, for the best Mexican cuisine since 1962. Serving every day from 7 a.m. to midnight, conveniently located 1515 West 18th Street, just a block east of Ashland in Chicago. Of course, they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a wide range of menu items. Everything from steak, seafood, to breakfast, to chicken, pork, dine-in, carry-out, tacos, enchiladas, everything you can imagine, and great quality at Nuevo Leon, 1515 West 18th. You've got to call Vince's Towing. If you need road service, flatbed service, or you want the highest price paid to you for a junk car, call 773-581-7647. They did a great job for me, and they'll do it for you. Call Vince's Towing, 773-581-7647. But right now, the big hot topic in town, the Bears at Soldier Field. People were probably still on their way into Soldier Field when Neil Anderson caught his first touchdown pass from Jim Harbaugh. Kevin Butler's kick made it 7-0 Monsters. Donnell Wolford's interception set up Harbaugh, who forgot about his cracked rib and scrambled into the end zone to make it 14-0 Bears early. It continued with the massacre. Watch this defensive play. Tremendous by the secondary. Ron Morris had some time on his hands here in the end zone to catch the TD. 21 points for the Bears. Cap Bosa was excellent. He didn't score, but made 5 catches and took some hits. And Neil Anderson wrapped up the scoring, forgetting about his ribs as well. A very tough customer. Neil Anderson scores here, and the route was just about complete. Jim Harbaugh had his best passing day of his career. Superbly throwing for a pair of touchdown passes, running for another. Neil Anderson and Brad Muster each ran for touchdowns in a total domination of the Los Angeles Rams. The defense was all over Jim Everett, and I think we're going to have a lot of happy people to talk to. And a very intense game for Jim Harbaugh, the best of his career. We talked to him afterwards, and he was contrite. Very interesting. Listen to this.
Well, I think we had a great plan against them. I think our coaches put in a great plan and mixed up some play-action passes because we knew they'd be keen on our run, and we moved the ball. We played really well. The offensive line, I can't say enough about it. That first touchdown pass to Neil, I've never had more time on a pass playing in my life, and I was able to find Neil and get the touchdown. So I give them a lot of credit. They were confident all night that they could keep him out, and they did a great job.
Jim, Neil getting into the offense, Neil getting into the passing game. Did you go in thinking you had to get him more involved in it?
Well, he's been involved with it all year in the passing game. You remember the Seattle game and the Packers game. He's a great weapon. He's probably our most valuable player, and anytime we can get him the ball, it's great for us.
Jim, tonight probably has to be your best performance ever as a Bear. 18 of 25 for 248 yards. Yeah. What kind of pride do you take in this game, especially remembering your first start on a Monday night in Los Angeles?
Well, yeah, I'll never forget that. It's not exactly the way you want to have your first start go, and to come back and play well against the Rams, I think is very exciting for me.
Jim, how were you able to block out your rib injury?
Well, I didn't know. I just tried to block it out. I didn't know how it would hold up when I would take a hit. And the first quarter, I took about 7 good hits on it, and it hurt a little bit, but it wasn't anything that that kept me from playing, especially the last Packers game. When I heard, I couldn't breathe very much, but tonight I didn't have any problem breathing. So
I'd take Jim every time when we're going to war because he's a competitor.
How much of that competitiveness overrides what might be perceived by some people to be inexperience or a penchant for running the football, let's say?
Well, if you know Jim, I mean, we could play hopscotch and we'll get in a fight over it because he wants to win, and I'm just probably as bad. But he hasn't had the opportunity that a lot of, the Jim Everett's and a lot of these guys have had. He's still basically into his first year. If you compare that, he's putting up the big numbers. So, it's just a matter of time. I think a lot of people haven't given him the credit that he deserves. And, they say the Michigan, the run, the handoff. Well, he hands it off great, too, but tonight you saw what he can do with the ball thrown it.
We did what we had to do. We went out there, and as I said before, it doesn't matter who made it happen. We got some turnovers. The offense capitalized. Special teams had great field position all night. That is a team effort. And right now, it doesn't matter who gets it done. It just everybody has to pitch in and make it work.
I guess I was trying to differentiate between the fact that the defense seems to bear the brunt of what the Bears either succeed or not succeed so much, but it seems like when the points are on the board early, then you can really kind of put the ears back and let it fly.
It always helps. Our defensive line, whenever we have the opportunity to put points on the board, they get excited. Our defensive line gets really excited.
As a defense, this is what you dream about when you get a 28-point lead at halftime, and you don't have to worry about playing a run. You can just tee off and rush a passer. You just can't ask any more out of an offensive team than what we got today.
Can you differentiate between this and some of the other efforts where the defense was relied upon to make things happen? This time it was more of an even split?
Well, I think really the offense carried the ball today. We really, they put the points up, and defensively they made it very easy for us. I think every guy in the offensive line and Jim Harbaugh and the receivers, they all deserve a game ball because they really dictated the pace of the game today.
Can you speak about the camaraderie of you backs?
Well, we know that we're the last means of defense, and everybody's going to be looking at us when things go wrong back there as far as the big plays. And we don't think about that. We go out, just go ahead and play sound. We play sound back there. We know good things are going to happen, and it doesn't matter who's in the game, which group is in, or what personnel's in. We can all play well together.
How about after about half a dozen games under your belt, are you totally acclimated to the National Football League?
I can't say that. I wish I could say yes, but I know there'll be something else that'll come up that'll surprise me. But I'm feeling more and more comfortable out there. I'm feeling more relaxed. I'm flying around. I make mistakes, but I play hard. You don't see them because of my effort, but I'm getting there.
With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. You've got to get to Lansing Floral Shop. Open at 8 a.m. daily. Besides a great array of live flowers, they have custom silks, Bridgewater candles. They want you to plan your parties early at a wide delivery area. They're located at 3420 Ridge Road in Lansing, or you can call 708-474-1212. Weddings, funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, and guys, try the No Reason flower. Believe me, it works. Lansing Floral Shop. Give them a call, 708-474-1212. Cobblestones is a great bar on Pershing with great food at Parnell. In fact, they're one of the top 100 bars in the city according to Chicago Magazine. Great pastas, salads, soups, and the great sandwich is the muffalata. So check it out. Great place to go when the White Sox play. I have trivia on Fridays when the White Sox aren't at home. So get to Cobblestones on 39th, and you'll be very glad you did. Come play in the area's classiest billiard center, Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet Avenue in Munster, 2 blocks south of 8094. Selling the most famous names of pool tables and billiard equipment. Specializing in table recovery and moving of tables. A complete pro shop with the most brand names of cues and cases. Celebrating over 20 years, excellence, top billiard tables, the place where the action is, Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet in Munster.
We're back in the spotlight, and the Blackhawks tried to break the Calgary jinx Sunday afternoon at the stadium. Ed Belfour solid in goal early with some help from people like Chris Chelios. Offensively, the Blackhawks blew early chances, including a 5-on-3 advantage that never materialized.
Even though the Blackhawks were playing very well defensively up to this point in the season, little did they know that they'd be involved in a scoreless tie with the Calgary Flames through 2 periods. But of course, that would have to change.
The key to the game, of course, was Chris Chelios' goal that gave the Blackhawks a 1-0 lead, but it wasn't to last very long. Gary Suter would come back and tie the game at 1 apiece on this power play effort, and then Joel Otto, the goal that put the Flames ahead 2-1. The Blackhawks thought they had a tie when Trent Yawney scored, but the net was knocked off the moorings. The Hawks were blamed. And despite some furious action at the end, the Blackhawks would not get back in it.
We weren't sharp on the 2 goals that they scored. They were as a result of poor clearings by our defensemen and inability for our forward to pick up the loose pucks. For the most part, though, you have to be fairly satisfied to go away from a game only having 2 goals scored against us, and that's a credit to Eddie Belfour because we didn't generate much offense or very little offense for the most part of the game.
You've been trying to match up to this team now for a couple of years, and there's a lot of different ways you can take today. You can be encouraged or discouraged.
Well, I'm not totally discouraged because they had a choice tonight of who they wanted to play in the lineup. We didn't have a choice. We had a full NHL line out of the lineup, which hurt you badly, and we had a defenseman out of the lineup as well. So we were a much more injured team than they were, and it'd be interesting to see how we'd match up playing them on an even basis. Based on today, they were a better team.
In the final minutes when you went off for the dual penalty, do you feel that you have to be wary because sometimes you're a marked man? They try to get you off the ice when your team's in must-score situations?
Occasionally it's going to happen, you know. It was just a fact where, you know, I was trying to leave the zone and Gilmore, you know, just grabbed me by the head so I couldn't get out, and, you know, happened to draw 2 minutes for each of us. It was, you know, those things are going to happen. We can't really go out thinking it's going to happen, but we have to try and compose ourselves regardless of what happens.
Trent, on the goal that where the net came off the moorings and it appeared that you may have tied the game, do you have a clear picture of that, and do you understand why it was negated?
Well, I guess so. All I was worried about was just getting my shot through to the net, and the next thing I knew, I just kind of buried my head and let it go, and I heard the crowd go nuts, and then I seen the net laying on the ice, so kind of knew that it probably wasn't going to be allowed. But, you know, I didn't really see it. I'd have to look on tape and see it, but I guess from what some of the guys said that it was off, so I mean, he made the right call.
Oh, you get frustrated, but still, we had our chances. I think Trent had a shot that just sat on the goal line, too, and we had a few chances, but so did they, and we got to look forward to the next game, like I said.
From the other perspective, when you played at Montreal, was Calgary a frustrating team to play then, too?
Well, when we played Montreal, we played a little bit too defensive, I think, against them, and a team like that's going to keep coming at you like a team like Edmonton, and you can't just sit back. When they come and try and pressure you, you have to capitalize on their mistakes, and maybe we just sat back and watched a little bit too much.
I eat on the pasta twice just...
Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria at Grand and Racine is the place to go before United Center Pavilion, Bulls, Hawks, Cubs, and Sox too. Dine in or carry out with great family recipes, including homemade pastas, steaks, seafood, a great fun bar area. Meet people, have a tremendous time. At Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria, Grand and Racine, you'll find a great variety of foods for you to enjoy at Salerno's.
Go play at Red Shoes Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski in Ulster, featuring 16 Brunswick Gold Crown pool tables, drop fluorescent lighting fixtures, and the fabulous grade of cloth. Call 708-388-3700. That's Red Shoe Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski.
Lanigan's Irish Pub is the place to be at 3119 West 111th Street, right by Kedzie. Live music on Sunday with Fast Eddie. Drink specials daily, including $1.50 domestic bottles on Thursday, $3 Guinness on Tuesday. Call for karaoke information on Friday. Party room, too. All that available at Lanigan's Irish Pub, 3119 West 111th Street on the beautiful south side of Chicago. Get there, Lanigan's Irish Pub. Get to the Beverly Coffee Shop at 2734 West 111th Street. Open at 6 a.m. daily with, of course, fresh coffee, many teas, breakfast, lunch, bagels, muffins, and more. Sandwiches, soups, and pizza bagels. They even have juice and Red Bull. Call ahead for your order, 773-429-9650. That's the Beverly Coffee Shop. People are already saying that new manager of the White Sox, Robin Ventura, might not be a good interview, but I found him to be one when he played.
Me about recent developments is the scoring in September. Usually pitchers tend to take over in August and September, and that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different this year, but, you know, I think guys are just hitting the ball a little bit better, but, you know, now it's kind of getting cold, so it might change a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly you guys, you in particular, are in the forefront of the heart of the lineup. Do you feel this has been your best power year in the major leagues?
I mean, it's obviously the best power year I had. I don't know if it's the best year I had, but, you know, we still got 12 or 13 games left, and, you know, hopefully it gets a little bit better.
Well, as you look at what is expected of you, and certainly the fielding has been a consistent thing, from a power standpoint, it certainly would make it harder to pitch around any other member of the lineup when you're in that slot and you're cranking the ball as you have been.
Well, I mean, Harold's been there, Danny's been there. I think anybody who bats behind Frank's going to definitely have to be swinging the bat pretty good. And I think we've done pretty good at mixing guys in there. You know, lefty Danny will get in there, and Harold and I switch around a little bit.
Tell us a little bit about how you perceive the makeup of this club. You and Harold are looked at more or less as the quiet leaders. Tony Phillips is the louder leader. But all in all, it's a very intriguing chemistry that from my limited access to it, is this a club that will continue to just keep the afterburners on right on through?
Yeah, you know, guys come out and they play for 9 innings, or, you know, if extra innings, you got to go there too. But you know, guys play hard for when they come here, and that's what you want out of guys that you play with. And you know, guys get along when we're here.
I'd heard some rumblings that, you know, because for whatever reason you guys in the first 2-3 innings sometimes will fall behind, and then that's the wake-up call to your club. You know, because you have so much talent offensively, have you noticed that it seems to take a couple innings before you guys get flying?
No, I mean, you know, the other day in Boston we had 5 in the first, and, you know, we've always been a team that scores early. I think maybe the middle innings maybe we might sit back a little bit, but, you know, right now I don't see any of that.
How about from the pitching perspective? I know you got a lot of call-ups and stuff, but how settled are you in bridging the gap between the starter and when Hernandez comes in?
I mean, you never know. I mean, guys pitch well, and we're going to win, and, you know, it's the same thing with the starters. If they don't pitch well, we're probably going to lose. But, you know, with this many games left, you just got to use who you need to use, and hopefully they do the job.
As we hit the air initially with this show airing on September 18th, my view of it was that you would have to have about roughly a 9-3 type finish to have it.
That's all the time we have. Thanks to Robin, thanks to everybody else, and we will see you next week. This week's show has been brought to you by the Lansing Floral Shop. Call for your flowers at 708-474-1212. Huck Finn, a great wide-ranging menu, along with donuts and ice cream. Open 24 hours at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Imprint Graphics, leaders in booklet, perfect bound saddle stitch, very competitive pricing. Call 708-396-1010.